Hi guys, this is Tim from Schoosh Music here, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to make a nice lead synth patch in Native Instruments Massive. Here's how it should end up sounding. And this was requested by SyAticOfficial or SyAticOfficial. I'm not sure how you say that, so sorry if I've got that wrong. Here's his channel. There you go. He makes whoops. It's nice to know. So anyway, let's get started. As always, make a new edition of Massive and set it to a new sound. Wait a second. And then turn on all three oscillators. Assign the first two to filter 1 and the third one to filter 2. And then pitch up oscillator 1 and oscillator 3 an octave each. All up 12. Make oscillator 1 a formant and bring the intensity down to between about 1 and 2 o'clock. And then on oscillator 3, just turn down the intensity slightly, only to about 5 o'clock, or between 4 and 5 o'clock, say. Turn on your modulation oscillator, assign phase to oscillator 2, and then bring it down to the bottom for the moment. For your filter section, just leave filter 1 as it is, because we don't need anything doing with that. Make filter 2 a high pass 4, turn up its volume, and then bring cut off to the bottom and rest into the top. And make sure your mix is in between the two, maybe slightly further towards filter 2, but that's preference really. For your FX section, make FX1 small reverb, put the dry wet to 2 o'clock and the size to full, then add a dimension expander in FX2 and dry wet to 2, size to full again. In your EQ section, just bring the boost up to 2 o'clock and the high shelf to 2 o'clock and leave the other two in the middle. We'll use 2 inserts for this. The first one's a bit crusher and the second one's a parabolic shaper. For the bit crusher, bring your dry wet to about 3 o'clock and crush to full. And then for your parabolic shaper, bring dry wet to full and drive to full. Now in your oscillator tab, bring the time up slightly, and before you do anything with this vibrato section, you want to clear macro 1 if it's automatically set to vibrato, and that gets rid of all this. Then just turn the rate up to about 1 o'clock and the depth up to about 9 o'clock. And now in your voicing tab, bring the unisono up to 2, set it to monophonic, and in fact before I do any of this, I'll just show you how it sounds like right now. It's sounding pretty similar. One thing you will notice is this master section's maxing out, so just turn down the volume. That's better. Now turn on your pitch cutoff. Bring this down to 0.5. And then pull this tab about a quarter of the way up, so between the first two there. Now it sounds like this. And that's sounding pretty similar to the final sound. There's just one last thing to do with your patch. Go into an LFO, sync the rate to 32, 1/32, turn the amp down slightly, and then assign this to your pitch of oscillator 1, although only slightly, so like 0.1 to 0.05. And also set this to your phase of the modulation oscillator and bring that up to about 9 o'clock. So the final patch should sound like this. That didn't make too much difference to the sound, but you might just be able to tell it sounds a bit rougher. But that's how I like it sounding. Effects now. They're pretty basic, really. I'll just show you my mixer. So I've got a chorus, a phaser, a flanger, a reverb, and a vocoder. I've used all the basic ones that come with Fruity Loops, although you can use any you want. For these three, don't add too much, just a little bit of chorus, phaser, and flanger. These are my settings, in case you want to copy them. And then reverb, just whatever you want. Make sure it's got a fair bit of size, and you turn up the wet. What have I done? There we are. And the main thing here is the vocoder. I've used Vocodex, which I think's brilliant. I just mess around with this on all the synths I make. It's fairly similar to the default thing, just bring the wet up to 12 decibels, or just above 3 o'clock, and bring this modulator pitch shift all the way to the left. Just with this, I'll show you how the sound differs. So here's it without, and with. So with that, it sounds a bit smoother and it brings out the lower frequencies. But in your what's this bit here? In your mix level, make sure this is just around 9 o'clock, maybe around 10 o'clock even, because if you add too much, it just sounds not very nice like this. So that's like a actual vocoder sound. So just bring it to about there. Then all your other effects, just these three are to smoothen it out a bit more. And then your reverb, obviously, just to give it more depth. And that's it. You could probably add a few other effects. I'll just have a look. A better reverb thing is ambience. I'd recommend that. I suppose you could add some kind of compressor or something, or you could EQ it out. I'll just get this. If you wanted to do that, you could get rid of some of this unwanted low end down here. I'm not sure where that's come from, probably the vocoder or something. In fact, that could be from modulating the phasing. But anyway, also find this sweet spot around here. If you've got if you can see it's hard to describe, but you know these bar things that come up. If your EQ does that, just look for where it's strong around the C5. And just try and get the sweet spot of that, and that'll sound nice. And boost the high end slightly. And that's it. I'll just play the final patch now. You might have also noticed that this is exactly the same synth and pattern I used in one of my recent songs. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.